Hi, I'm Leah Carey, and this is the Good Girls Talk About Sex video series. Today, I want to talk about the importance of not just giving, but also of receiving when we're in bed. There's a cliche that it's better to give than to receive, but there's actually a problem with that idea because if we're all really busy giving, there's nobody available to receive the gifts that we have to give. And that's kind of a sad world. It reminds me of this thing that happened just a bunch of years ago. I was dating this man who had a 12-year-old son. And it was Christmas time, and we were going to spend Christmas with this boy's grandmother. And I took him out to go Christmas shopping, to get something for his dad and for his grandmother. And he was so excited. I don't think anybody had done this with him before. And he was so excited to finally be picking out his own gifts. And in my mind, it didn't matter at all if this was something that was going to be absolutely the best gift in the world. What mattered was that it was a gift that came from this little boy's heart. And so we took his gifts back home, we wrapped them up, he wrapped them himself, and they were, a mess, but he did it himself and he was so proud. And when we got to his grandmother's house on Christmas, it was his turn to give his grandmother his gift, and he handed it to her. And she looked at it and she said, "Well, I don't know why you did this. You shouldn't have spent this much time on me." And I just saw him crumble inside. He had been handing her a piece of his 12-year-old heart, and she couldn't receive it. Now, I don't know what was going on with her that she couldn't receive it, but I know that as important as it was for him to give of himself and of his heart and of his generosity, it was equally important to him that she be able to receive it with that same sense of generosity, whether it was the perfect gift or not, for her to be able to say, "I see that you did this special thing for me, and I'm grateful, and I value you, and I value this thing," whatever it might be, simply because it came from your heart. And the same thing is true in the bedroom. Those of us who grew up in girl bodies were taught generally that it was our job to give and to nurture and to take care of. And in my conversations with adult women, what I hear over and over is, I never thought to ask what I wanted. I never learned to ask for what I desire. And my part in the sex engagements that I had was for me to take care of his pleasure and to not think a lot about my pleasure or getting that taken care of. I hear that over and over. Obviously, it's not 100%, but it's a large enough percent to really be worth taking a look at. Conversely, those people who grew up in boy bodies were taught that they have to do and they have to take care of. They also are responsible for taking care of their partner. It comes from a sort of different energetic place, but they are also very invested in doing. So if one person is doing and another person is nurturing, who does that leave to receive? We are both, and it doesn't matter if we're talking about a heterosexual couple or a same-sex or anywhere on the gender spectrum, what that coupling is, we all got some version of this message. And it doesn't leave a lot of room for either person to receive. So something that makes a really healthy sexual engagement is when each partner is able to give sometimes and is able to receive sometimes. So in my partnership, one of the things that we do is we'll occasionally set a timer. I'll pull out my phone and I'll set a timer for 10 minutes and I'll turn to my boyfriend and I'll say, how do you want me to touch you for the next 10 minutes? And his only job for those 10 minutes is to lay back and receive my touch. In fact, if he reaches up and starts to touch me back, I will take his hands and like push them down on the bed to remind him that's not your job right now. And then we'll often reverse in the same session, but sometimes it'll be in a different session, and he'll set his phone and he'll say, so for the next 10 minutes, how do you want me to touch you? And it can be sexual, it can be a non-sexual massage. It can be anything. The point is that we are practicing receiving touch because it's so important for both of us to have the opportunity to both give our partner pleasure and also to receive the pleasure that our partner has to give to us. If there's not that reciprocation, it can often leave one or both of us feeling unsatisfied, like we didn't actually get seen. We didn't actually have connection in the way that we deeply desire. I'd love to hear from you. What is it that makes receiving so challenging? Is it that you believe you're not supposed to receive based on your gender? Do you believe that maybe you're not worthy of receiving, that maybe you're supposed to earn your place in bed and that means constantly giving? There are so many different ways that this can show up, and I'd love to hear from you in the comments. What is it that makes receiving challenging for you? And if in thinking about this, you find that there's some stuff that maybe you'd like to work out with someone, let me know. There's information about my coaching in the description. I'd love to talk with you. I think that this is a really important step toward having a healthy, connected relationship, sexual relationship, where you feel seen and heard and really connected with your partner. And I'd love to help you get there. I look forward to talking to you again next week. And until then, here's to your better sex life.